Valve has a diversity crisis. Uh-oh.
I can't tell you how many women work at Valve, or people of color, or non-binary folks, or those who identify as LGBTQ, or disabled people, because, well, Valve is a private company, and it doesn't need to disclose those numbers, and also it didn't respond to our own requests for those figures. However,
why would they? I mean, if somebody's asking for those figures, they're only doing it in order to create a narrative that you're doing something wrong. Like, how could there ever be a single positive to sharing that information?
Multiple interviewees that we spoke to described the company as having an enormous lack of diversity, extremely white and extremely male. There have been efforts made over the years by various employees who've pushed to make Valve more representative. However, I'm told these efforts are largely blocked by either the company's structure or its leadership.
If that effort was being blocked and there was an effort to hire a person that was black and it was being blocked by the nature of the fact that the person was black, Valve would be in a massive discrimination lawsuit and they would have to pay out millions, if not billions of dollars. Yeah, it's just that simple.
It used to be that there were maybe 10 or 15% women in the development teams, but definitely now I think they've dipped below that point.
Well, you've created an arbitrary criteria point and then you've said you have to meet this criteria point. Who decided that? You did. You don't work at Valve. You're not in charge of them. What is this? Valve's estimated profit per employee is around $19 million, making it one of the highest per employee profit figures among major tech companies. What they're doing works, and it outperforms all other people that are in the space. Hired on merit. Yeah, you always hire on merit. If you're not hiring on merit, you're setting yourself up to fail.
The higher up you go, the whiter and male it becomes.
The implication here is that being white is somehow a problem. If you replace the word of the people that you are trying to replace with the word of people that you think are protected, would your statement be bad? And if the answer is yes, then your statement is not theoretically bad, it is just simply bad.
That compounds the issue, because part of making any field more diverse is that you have to start introducing diversity into it. Valve's not going to be...
Well, I don't think I feel like the entire premise of this is that it's a problem or that it's necessary. I don't think diversity is something that is a good or a bad thing. Having more diversity doesn't make something better and it doesn't make it worse either. It's just simply a collection of people.
And there are already more middle-aged white guys in the games industry than any other group of people, so...
Well, the premise of this is that it's a problem that there are middle-aged white guys in the gaming industry. I think that if you said there's a lot of young black women here, like... I would say that's racist.
First of all, you need to have actually seen them do that work in the first place. And secondly, if you have seen it, you need to understand that work enough to recognize it as something worthwhile.
Do you really think that the people that work at a company that you have admitted only hire the best of the best and creates the highest profit per employee at $19 million? Do you really think that those people can't recognize good work and you can? How delusional and stupid could you possibly be? It's hilarious that they even think that they can evaluate this better than they can.
And it's going to be so much harder to hire someone who is a woman or isn't white or any of the things that isn't your average Valve employee profile.
Yeah, I think this right here, like videos like this, are the most corrosive and the most effective at radicalizing people against DEI or like liberal policies than Nick Fuentes, Sam Hyde, or Tony Robinson put together.
There's nothing in an overt, sinister sense that's discriminatory about the Valve hiring process.
All right. The problem here is that there's a comma and not a period. Why is there 2 more minutes? Is it the credits?
Except in the way that all hiring processes select for people that are like the people doing the hiring.
So if the problem is that there's a bunch of people in this demographic that are hiring based off of their race, then the solution is to influence and bring in a different demographic of people that will hire based off of their race instead. We have to fight racism with racism.
Multiple current and former employees, they believe this issue is not being addressed because Valve's leadership simply does not understand it.
The people that run this multi-billion-dollar company that effectively has a monopoly almost on PC gaming, they just don't understand this. Yeah.
It's not that they're knowingly or explicitly sexist or racist or homophobic or anything.
It's just bias. Okay, so they are. Okay, so can you prove it? No, but they are.
Should we make it easier for people of color to join the company? They'll just be like, why? I feel like that's that's the dividing line. They are.
Well, that's a good question. Why should it be easier for a person of any race to join the company versus a person of another race to join the company? In what form of discrimination is that good?
Some of this frustration spilled out into a wider discussion within the company after the murder of George Floyd in early 2020, as a group of employees within Valve pushed for the company to make a public statement in support of the Black Lives Matter movement.
That's right, of course. Because what more important thing needs to happen for a company to outwardly state that they support Black Lives Matter? The company is not your platform to push a social agenda. The only reason why companies push social agendas is because they think that the social agenda will cause them to make more money.
And there were also people who felt incredibly passionate, regardless of their own individual political convictions, that Valve should not and must not do so.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not a political action company. It's not what its goal is. The thing is that I'm really glad to see videos like this be completely pretty much rebuked. People can realize that this is just basically discrimination, but in a different direction, so that means it's okay. Oh no, Valve hires competent people. Yeah, how's that going for them? So basically, whatever they're doing is working really well. Wow, look at that.